Do you think you need to work to either find that man or to stick with that man?
Of course.
Yeah.
You have to meet him halfway. Like they say, like you are what you attract. So if I'm just not working on myself, not working on my physical, not working on my mental, my spiritual, and I'm having all of these expectations, not only is God seeing it as like a joke, but I'm never gonna reach the man that I'm trying to reach. You have to work toward that life, and it will attract to you. So just keep working on yourself, keep working on your mental, keep healing, and those things attract you. Like you just end up in this place where it's like, oh my God, all these high value men. How did I get here?
Yeah.
Versus just being, oh my God, all these bums. How did I get here? And you have to be realistic with where you are as a woman, and you'll walk into that. You don't necessarily have to go. No woman has to go looking for any man.
When you're self-aware, you tend to know what is for you and what's not for you. Like if you're not self-aware and if you're not aware of like your past traumas and you've worked through your things, you might take certain things from a man or even from any relationship from work aren't necessarily the healthiest thing. And if you do, or if you find yourself in a situation that's not healthy, you may not work through your problems in a healthy way. Or if you are in a healthy place mentally and spiritually aligned, self-aware, and you find yourself in these issues with your partner in a relationship, you're going to be able to work through those things in a healthy demeanor, in a healthy way. Communication, like being able to understand where the other person is coming from, so that so I can understand and not just listen to respond, but listen to understand. Like that's all very important.
Yeah. So you guys talked about that man being a leader. Would you consider yourself a follower or able to follow under his lead?
Yeah.
Absolutely. The right man, not just anybody.
Right.
You could tell. I feel like women could tell when he's just like, all right, you don't know what you're doing.
Nah, sis. Nah, you be young and dumb. I'm trying to tell you. I was young and dumb, and I thought I had a man that was my man. Stupid. Stupid.
You're right. It's because I learned younger, so it's just like now I'm only 25, so it's like it's like what you said earlier, back to what Hazel said before about just knowing your worth, your self-worth. And no one can convince, at that point nobody can convince you that you to lower your standards. Like it's either you meet me here or the door.
The door.
How many men do you think are actually good leaders? Or do you think there's many good leaders? Many men who make good leaders?
I'll let Hazel go first.
I'm not gonna say they're not out there. They're out there. You
Definitely.
just gotta put yourself in a place where they are. Like you can't be looking for your leader in the club, sis. Like
Let's say I lined up 100 guys, 100 random guys. How many do you think would actually be a leader that you would be able to submit to?
where we getting these men from? New York or DC?
Right.
All over the country.
All over the country?
Mhm.
10.
So I'm gonna say 15. The reason why I say that though is because if you look at teenage boys that become men, they're usually followers. Like the first demeanor, the first personality they attract to is like thug automatically. It's like men are naturally followers, I feel like, until they really establish that relationship with God, and you understand leadership to a different level. But men are more easily influenced than women are, in my opinion.
Really?
So they tend to be followers. Yeah.
I would disagree with that. I think women are more easily influenced.
What? We are clicked up. Girls be like,
Yeah.
key so fast.
Oh,
men,
you're right.
Men will walk past each other in the street 15 times, and the 15th time, yo, you got a gamer tag? Like, and that's it. Like they will see each other like so many times in a row, and they would not speak to them.
I know what
just
Kosi is saying though. But if you really peel that back a layer and you look at how many men are actually, they may be inspired by them or aspire to be those type of like rappers or thugs or whatever, the rate at which they can actually become that is actually very low in itself. I mean, not many men actually become rappers.
I dated one.
Right, I'm dating one.
But let me ask y'all this question. We know that most men are not leaders, right? We roughly say around 10 to 20% of men are actually leaders or have the capabilities to become leaders. Flip that. Do you think most women are actually good at following or have the traits to be led? If I lined up 100 women, how many of those women actually have the traits to be led?
80.
80.
Yeah. I would say like 69. You know why?
I wanna hear why. Yeah, I
All
wanna
right,
hear
go
why.
ahead. The reason I say that is because I feel like a lot of women operate in fear and like insecurity first before they get to understand and get established of who they are. So we do cling, like she said, we do cling to men. Like we expect leadership, we expect to be someone assertive, we expect these things, but when it actually is happening, we don't know how to receive it. But I feel like 69, because most women want that, and I feel like when you're in the right relationship, it's just natural. Like you don't have to force it. It's natural. Like you will naturally submit. It's almost like it's really like a mental thing. Like, okay, he's doing what he has to do. We locked in. You don't have to try too hard. I think if men understood that, they would just stop doing dumb stuff. Honestly,
I think it's 80% because like we like to listen. Like we like to be bossed around. I think it's like a sexy. I think it's
right?
sexy. I think that
That's
if a
same.
man like Coach said, like if it's the right man, we'll just do whatever he says. Like we'll like okay,
Oh
yeah,
God.
yeah, even if it's the wrong man, because like I've been in when I was younger, I dated somebody who used to deal drugs, and I'd be like, I just want to sit in the car with you and go with you all day, being stupid just because I want to be with him. Like if he would have told me to do this or do that, I would just do it. And I feel like that's in our nature to listen to a man and to be submissive to men. But there are some women that are like, nah, like they're more dominant, and I feel like that's probably because of something else, like different episode reasons. But I think most women just want to be able to be like, my man said this, my man did that, and like I got him. Like I'm about to die. Like it
Right.
might be to prove to him that she's worthy. Maybe you know what I'm saying. But I think a lot of women would, for whatever their own personal reasons, would just follow whatever a leader says or what a man who has assertive qualities will say.
I agree to that.
So I'm gonna have to disagree with the point on where you said most women have the qualities to be led. Only because a lot of what you said is conditional, right? If the
Mm-hmm.
right man came along, if he did this, if he did that. I think someone who's, naturally submissive is just gonna naturally fall in line and make that man fall into that leadership role.